going on, guys? Got another fun, exciting Sabre plastic fantastic launcher video. So I've been having some farting in this. I bring it back from the dead about a month ago. I took the restrictor out and was shooting it with no restrictor on like air tanks and stuff, and it was doing really well for about, I don't know, 50 shots, and then I started getting problems. So this is a Roscoe remote line air adapter, Roscoe First Strike remote line adapter. It's like $10. You have to do some dremeling to your magazine to make this fit correctly, but you can stick like a big air tank on it with the air hose and stuff. So what I did was I did that first, made sure that it functioned correctly, and it did. And then I started taking apart the actual Sabre to see if I can get more power out of it, because essentially you can get about stock out the box. If you're using heavier weight ammo, you'll probably get 18 to 20 joules with heavy balls, like 7 grams, 8 grams balls. And if you're using lightweight stuff like 4 grams or 3.5 grams, you'll probably get about 18 to 16. Obviously this is kind of more like a pepper launcher. In the state I live, I cannot use pepper rounds. I can't buy them. I can't own them. But I can use pepper spray and pepper gel and stuff like that. I just can't have chemical irritant rounds. Some law that passed, I think like a year ago or 2 years ago almost. And I pretty much have to use these kinetic impact launchers. I'm just taking this apart because I got some pins from Amazon. So when this thing broke on me, I was trying to figure out what was going on because it kept stuttering or farting, and then sometimes I'd air it up and it would just constantly just be the bolt would keep flying forward and like not set, and then it was basically just either wasting CO2s if I plugged one of them in, or it would just start going like when I pressurized this with the airline, it would just instantly start sputtering and farting and stuff. So basically it wasn't holding air, wasn't acting the way it should. So I contacted Sabre to see if they could help me out, in any way. They said no, basically, because I took it apart and stuff. They didn't want to do anything, so I was on my own with that. I did have a viewer offer to send me a Sabre, and I do appreciate it, Michael. Thank you very much. I didn't take it from him because I wanted to try to fix mine, and it's fixed. Well, it was temporarily fixed. What I did was I got some nails that you use like around the house, like nails to put together furniture or put pieces of wood together. I got nails and measured how big some of these pins were, where I'm about to show you. And they measured about 1.46 or 1.48 millimeter thickness. I got some nails that were 1.55 thickness. I don't know what gauge they were. They were just in this random kit thing I have. I've made a bunch of videos on how to dismantle this. That's why I'm not explaining anything. I have playlists on the Sabre, so you can see on any of those videos if the launcher is like on the table. Pretty good odds I'm going to be tearing it apart and showing you what I'm doing to the inside. So I had these random nails, and I used one of these nails, chopped it, measured it, and what broke on mine was right here and here. There's 2 pins that go through this, and that secures a sear spring, and I'll show you that right now. I'm just going to take this apart. I'm still thinking of dyeing this. I don't know if I want to do, the only dyes I have right now is dark green and like that wine color. I have my Beeman colored in that wine color, and I have a lot of other things in the dark green. HTP 50 slide, my Burna TCR, the orange stuff that used to be on there is now dark green. I put thread lock on this didn't set very well, at least for the barrel. Maybe it was too much. I let it set for like 3 days. So I'll probably put more thread locker on this. I tried Teflon tape and it didn't work. So these are thread locked. These 4 screws are thread locked with the blue thread locker. When I originally took this apart, it had thread lock on them, and I hadn't re-thread locked it, but I think that's causing an issue with the launcher kind of like coming apart on itself. So if you can see that play on that little plate right here, so I may have either shaved off too much of one of these metal nails and then installed it, and it was too small, and I'm getting play because I think, so right now it's kind of like sputtering or farting, and I think it may be related to this play on the trigger, because what this thing is doing is it's grabbing the sear and making it stay engaged with the bolt and this little step right here. So if this is moving around, that little sear isn't staying very good. Either that or it's over oiled or over greased, but I think I'm pretty light on oil and grease and stuff. So I'm gonna take this pin out, or attempt to. You can see how small that hole is. I don't have anything that small to fit in there, so I'm just gonna be tapping it. I don't know if I'm gonna record all that, but I'm just showing you guys what you have to do in case your Sabre breaks, or you have symptoms like what mine's doing, and you want to fix it yourself, and or your warranty's out with Sabre, and or you already opened it and it's all effed up and stuff. You cannot buy parts. You cannot send it into Sabre to get fixed. And if you have your warranty and you haven't done anything to it, you should be fine to just send it into them. But I messed with mine and they wouldn't send me any parts or anything. And yeah, they just don't want to do anything to help me out, which is fine. I'm just going to take this. There's a little like rubber thing in here. I'm going to take that out. I'll be right back. All right, you guys. So if you have I have a watch repair kit for like watches, but like, you know, nicer ones with metal pins and the bands and stuff. If you have one of those, there's a decent chance you're going to have some really precise small tweezers like this. So behind the set screw, there's this little tiny little like rubber bumper or like spacer kind of thing. It's really hard to get in that unless you have some of these. I've tried like other types of tweezers, but they're just way too big to fit in here. So what I ordered online was 1.5 millimeter by 10 millimeter long stainless steel 304 dowels. Got these from Amazon. They were like $6 or something, $7. So I just got the closest size I could find. They had 1.4 by like 12 millimeters. And they had 1.4 by like 15 or something. And when my pins snapped, when I put them all together and measured it, it was about 10 millimeters long. So these are pretty much like a perfect match. And the thickness, like this part on my original pins, was 1.46. So I'm going to check these just to see how close that is. So yeah, it looked like this, like when I measured it. So this is probably like an exact match for what was in here previously. The nails that I used, I just used like a Dremel to carve them down a little bit, because this was just like a impromptu kind of fix, just using whatever I had lying around the house. So these are 1.53, 1.54. So they're a little bit too big, and they didn't want to fit in this super small little recess in this housing. So I'm going to try putting this one in there. Hopefully it doesn't snap. The other one isn't broken, but it's a little bit like bent. You can kind of see that the little bit of like curvature it has. A little bit. Plus it's not like that great of a of a fix. So yeah, it does look kind of like bowed a little bit. Like in the middle right here, it's kind of going up a little bit. So I'll try this other pin, see if I still get farting and stuff. And if I still get farting, it's probably the little pin, or not the pin, the firing bolt, or the firing valve, or the valve, or something along those lines. So I'm gonna try putting this back in here. This is where I took that pin from. And it could take me like a couple minutes, so I'm not gonna record it, but it is pretty much setting back in there. Oh yeah, it's already pretty much in there. So I'll see if this will hold up. What I did before is I put the pin in and then pushed it in with the Allen wrench. And what this pin does is hopefully it keeps this from wobbling. Like there's no wobble in this anymore. Right here, it was wobbling before, up and down. It's not doing that anymore. And I may as well just switch out this one too, because both of these were makeshift nails. So I'm just going to switch out both. I'll re-record once I come back to this. Alright guys, I almost got it out, but I'll just do this when I have an actual something to poke this thing out. I need to get like a sewing needle or something. I've tried a tie wire for like, you know, a bread bag or something. This one's being a little bee to get out, but this one isn't moving around too much. I just wanted to change both of them for the correct size pin or dowel, metal dowel, but I could do this any other time. I've tried using a smaller nail to go through the backside, but it's not working. I've tried using these tweezers, like the tip, and just gently hammering it in to try to get that pin to come out, but it's just been being difficult, and it's been about 20 minutes, so I'm just going to put this back and reassemble it, and put the little rubber piece back. It's like a bumper kind of thing. Put this set screw back in there. I think it's like a 1.5 millimeter size wrench. Everything in this is metric set screws, metric Allen heads, everything's metric. So I'm just tightening this back down. You don't want to over tighten this. You shouldn't need to do any of this in the first place, but in case yours is sputtering and stuff, this could be a possible fix for you. So one new pin, that's the exact, pretty much the exact size it should be. This one is the nail, but this one wasn't, it's not moving around too much like how it used to. There was a problem with that other pin, which I switched out because it's kind of bent a little bit, but I'll see how this shoots. I'm probably gonna dye this since I have it out, and you guys will see the color in a video in the future. So thanks for checking it out. I'll reassemble this once I have it dyed, if I decide to dye it. So you guys have a good one, and see you next time.